Steve Folale, and I will be anchoring this program today. So before we get started, I want to know where we are joining from. So I can see that we have a couple of number of participants on the call right now, and we are still expecting more to join us on the call right now. But before we get started, I would like to know where we are all joining from. So you can type in the chat box, just use the chat box. So let me just start the conversation from my end. My name is Latif. So I I'm joining from UK. So let me just say, okay, I'm joining from Nigeria right now. So I want to know where you're joining from, right? I want to know where you are joining from. Can you put it in the chat box? So, all right, thank you, Doris. Doris is joining from Scotland. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So I'm still expecting more. I'm still expecting more. All right. Okay, Faith is joining us from London. That's amazing. Tosin from Canada. Priscilla from DRC. All right, amazing. Amazing. So we have a couple of number of participants joining from different region of the world, right? Why Doris is joining from Scotland, Faith is joining from London, Tosin is also joining from Canada. That's amazing. Well, okay, Stephen is joining from Ireland. All right, that's amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. And in one word, I would like to know how you are feeling today. I know this is the very first Wednesday of the month of March. I want to know how your weekday is going so far. I know this is the midweek of the week. I want to know in one word, just tell me how your weekday is going so far. In one word, amazing. Thank you so much, Tosin. Thank you so much, Tosin. Okay, Faith, great, awesome. So my own week is going amazing also. Amazing. I'll go for amazing. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So I'm sure we are all excited to join this session today because I am also excited to have you in this session today. And in this session, we are going to be having a lot and amazing session. And I'm sure that you are going to be enjoying that with me. So before you get started, I want to know if this is your first time in joining or you've already been in this session before. And I just want to know if you are in this session before, if you're joined maybe any of our masterclass before, just type in a one, right? And if this is not your first time, just type it two. So I want to know the newbies and how we do it, right? So I want to know if you are okay. Thank you. So we have new joiners. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let's unbox what we have for you today. Amazing. So I'm sure my screen is up. All right. Hi, Steven. Kindly confirm if my screen is up, please. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So thank you so much, everyone, once again. Like I said earlier, we are going to be doing amazing session today, where we are going to be having our participants from Tenalytics here to join us and present the project they have been working on within the last 3 months they joined the program. So this is really an amazing session because before most of them start the session, before they get onto this point, they are just like you, right? They are just like you joining us from the first time. Like, okay, is this possible? Are they scam? Are they likes, right? Most of the thoughts we have in our mind, they all have it at first. But after joining Analytics, they see some of the amazing things we do, and they are here to testify to that. So let's just get started by telling us who we are. So I'll get started by telling us about who we are. I'm sure that most of us, you've already seen some adverts online, from YouTube, some of the ads you have online. But you might be thinking like, okay, who is Tenalytics? What are they all about? So here we are Tenalytics. We are the leading edtech company which is focused on providing specialized training in technology skills and delivering comprehensive data consulting services. So we've been doing this for the past couple of years, right? For the past couple of years, we've been doing this. We've been building talent for the technology workforce, and we have helped over 4,000 participants, 4,000 people transition right from their classroom into landing their first job. That is not easy. That is what we do day in, day out. And we have been doing this for 5 good years. So trust me, we have different people, just as you're joining from Scotland, just as you're joining from Canada, just as you're joining from UK. We have different people also that have already joined us for the past 5 years. and they have already successfully landed their first job in tech. So it's planned across different countries, UK, US, Canada, Europe, Asia, across the globe in generally. So we are committed to making the technology sector more accessible through premium and experimental training, right? To premium and experimental training in different sector. Like we have DevOps engineer, data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, and HR analytics, APM, cyber security, project management, project design, and AI engineering. So our facilitator are not just from just any other person, right? We are not just coming bringing any other facilitator from us. We bring in an experienced and a well-knowledge facilitator that are from different companies, right? We have like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. They bring in a wealth of real-world experience, and they are dedicated in delivering an engaging practical learning experience that ensure that you all on this call and the one on our classrooms, they receive a maximum value from the investment for their future, right? That is what we do. So if you want to join us in our platform, like our YouTube, our Facebook, and the likes, so you can just as well click on any of the link below. So this slide will be shared to us after this session. And before we move forward, I want to introduce myself. You might be thinking like, okay, who has been speaking with us since morning? Who is this who has been speaking with us this morning? But before I go in, you might have someone, right, that needs to be in this session, and you know that this person has to be in this session. You might want to check the chat box. My colleagues are sending a particular link. Just copy the link and send to them. I'm sure that we are already done with festive period. I might say, okay, you want to give them a gift period, but trust me, you can give anybody anything, anytime, at any time, right? They will really appreciate it. They would like and love to be in this session. So just copy the link and send it to any of your friends or colleagues. You feel like, okay, it is necessary they are in this session. Trust me, you are giving them a valuable and a lifetime gift, right? So who has been speaking with you since morning? Who has been anchoring this session this morning? So my name is Latif, and I am a dedicated mathematician and also a senior cybersecurity associate with a strong focus in technology. I don't just deal with cybersecurity. I have a strong focus in technology, education, and also career development, right? I currently serve at Analytics, where I contribute to impactful cybersecurity training initiative. With almost a decade of annual experience, I have trained and mentored over 200 aspiring cybersecurity professionals through structured learning paths, right? We have it like a practical labs and also some personalized guidance I've given to them. I've helped them transition into roles in cybersecurity such as penetration testing, SOC analysis, GRC, and I am really passionate about hands-on learning. Knowledge sharing. We share knowledge. That's what we do. What I know, I'm going to share it so that I can be able to equip you, so that I'll be able to equip the next generation of cybersecurity professionals with practical skills and industrial practice, best practice. If you want to follow me on my LinkedIn, also you have it on this slide, right? And I have my colleagues here with me that we are going to be anchoring the session together. So we brought in a lot of goodies, a lot of baddies, a lot of goodies, right? And we are going to be sharing that with us. So after presentation, you will want to wait behind, and so that you are going to be seeing what we are going to be unboxing for you, right? So with me, I have Priscilla. Priscilla is a passionate educator, data expert, and also a career strategist with close to half a decade of years of experience in world of blockchain technology and data analytics. Also, as a growth catalyst at Analytics, she has been instrumental in helping individuals navigate the complex tech landscape, guiding them in choosing the right career path and onboarding them into data-driven path, and providing the support they needed to get their first job in tech. So she has different experience, right? And you are going to be seeing her, you are going to be seeing how sound and well versed she is. So she have a wealth of experience across freelancing data analytics, crypto educator, technical support personnel, and also tech career coach. With a strong commitment to career transformation, Priscilla has successfully onboarded and mentored over 500 individuals, helping them transition seamlessly into tech and secure meaningful job opportunities. So you want to wait behind, and you are going to be seeing a lot of goodies we have for you, like I said initially. So let's move on to what we have for today, right? So what are we doing today? You might be wondering, why are we here? What are we doing here today? We are doing a lot of things. We are doing series of things, right? So the first thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be having a project showcase. You are going to be listening to our participants, listening to our students, and sorry about that. So you are going to be listening to our participants, right? Our students, how they talk on the projects they have been working on in the past 3 months they joined the program. So they are all like you, right? When they started, they are all like you. And now they are now giving us what they've been learning so far. That is the one thing we are going to be doing. And the second thing you will want to wait behind is the goodies I mentioned initially, that the strategies you need to get into tech, because some of us we are in different role. Some of us we are into health sector. Some of us we are into business sector, right? And we want to transit into tech. You might be thinking like, is this possible? Definitely yes. That is what we do. So we are going to be telling you the strategies you need to get into tech and be successful in it, right? And the last thing is the discounts we have for you, right? We have a very special discount for you before you get started. So after this session, you need to wait behind. After the presentation, you need to wait behind so that you are going to be part of the people we are going to be distributing this for. Trust me, you don't want to miss this part. So let's move on to the participant for today. So we have two of our very students that we are going to be doing. They are going to be showcasing the projects they have been working on in the past 3 months. They joined the program with analytics. So we have Doris from the 8 p.m. program, and we have Esther from the data science program. I'm sure you're on the call with me. Hi, Doris. Are you there?
Hi, Latif. I'm here, please.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. All right. I'm sure Esther is also with us right now, but let's just get started so that I'm sure most of the people on the call, most of the participants on the call, most of the people on the call are already getting excited that what are they going to show? What are they speaking about? Like, so I can also wait to hear from you. I can also wait to see the excitement in your face, how you've been performing for the last 3 months, right? So I'll leave the floor to you so you can bring up your screen and let's get started.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. So I'm going to share my screen now.
All right.
All
So
right.
let me stop sharing.
Right. Please, can you confirm if you can see my screen, please?
Yes, yes, your screen is up.
Right. Thank you. Once again, thank you for the opportunity. So, I'm Doris, and I've enrolled in the Agile Project Management Program. Right. So
All
this
right.
is my
Sorry,
first capstone.
sorry to cut you short, please. You have 5 minutes for this, please. Thank you so much.
5 minutes.
All right, please go on. Please go on. Thank you so much.
Right,
All
so
right.
this is our my first capstone project about mobile e-commerce optimization. So we are looking forward to optimize our web called the Orion Shop web and then app site. So we want to lay a foundation for a seamless mobile shopping experience. Right. So, what is the project's purpose and justification? So, the purpose of this project is to overhaul the organization's mobile e-commerce experience. That's Pod Orion Shop. We also want to optimize mobile web and native app. That's in terms of iOS and then Android. So, why are we doing this? We want to improve overall mobile user experience. We also want to increase mobile driven revenue, that's sales. We want to increase sales. We want to strengthen competitiveness against leading e-commerce platforms such as Amazon, Walmart, and the rest. So next, here we have the business case and then the problem statement. So when we say a problem statement, it is a clear description of the issue at hand, the issue the shop is actually facing or our website is actually facing. And we also have the business case. So the business case is a justification document that explains the rationale for our project and why we have to fix it. So when we look at the problem statement, the one of the problems we have is that there is insufficient mobile user experience, inefficient mobile user experience. So there is poor navigation, inadequate search and filtering, checkout challenges. So they have on our side there is restricted payment method and lengthy forms, performance problems. So when our customers are trying to purchase something on our site, it takes a long time to load, which is frustrating. And so this is also our business case. We want to match up with our competitors, like I mentioned earlier, Amazon, Walmart, and the rest. And we also want to we have high returns on our investments. So we are looking forward to have low risks and high investment returns after we launch the optimized site. Next, we've got the project objective. So what are we looking forward to achieve by the end of this project? We want to increase sales, mobile sales. We want to reduce cart abandonment. We want to improve customer satisfaction score. We also want to enhance performance. That is in terms of speed and how fast our sites loads or the pages loads. We want to increase all of that. Next, we've got the project scope. So the project scope involves what is included in the project and what is excluded. So what are we working on and what we are not working on? So here we are working on the mobile web, that's the home page. We want a modern one. We also want to enhance search that so that our mobile users or customers find it easy to search for products and easily locate product they want to purchase. We also want to improve the app user experience and performance. We want everything to be really smooth for our customers and mobile users. What are we not touching? What are we not including in the project? We are not touching the desktop interface because this is just a revamp. We are just revamping and optimizing. So there's no need to rebuild or change anything, right? Next, we've got high level deliverables. So what are we going to have? What are going to be the results after this project? So we are going to have updated mobile UI UX design. So nice visuals, better layouts. Everything is just so smooth for the customer. Streamlined checkout flow. Customers will not struggle to check out. Upgraded dashboards, enhanced mobile performance metrics. Yes, so everything is just to make the checkout process and then the shopping experience easy for the mobile user. We've got the key stakeholders. So who are those behind or sponsoring what the project is all about, or who are those sponsoring the project? So we have the project sponsor, that's the steering committee. We have the project manager and the product owner or business owner, and then the delivery lead. So we've got the quality assurance lead, operation lead, user experience lead. Okay, so these guys they are all in charge of the success and how the project is going to run. Right. And then we also got the strategic risk and resource management. So we have a constraint in this project. The constraint is that we have limited availability of web designers and mobile app developers. And with this is how we are going to manage this kind of constraint. And we are going to use the must have, should have, could have, and they won't have to prioritize tasks. So we are going to look at things that are actually important and then we focus on that. And then we are going to hire specialists, external specialists to come help make the project a success. We're also going to constrain our employees. We've got internal employees just so that we can enhance adaptability and then also flexibility. Right. So what are the risks? So in every project there is a risk. So these are the risks we are able to identify, and we've got how we are going to manage these risks. So when we look at the risks, we realize that customers may shift to competitors because if the optimization period is too long, customers will lose interest in our mobile site. That's the Orion shop. So they might just move to other platforms to go shop there. And so we decided to gradually release improvements on the mobile sites and then the mobile app, just so that they know something is actually happening behind the scenes. And then we also have assumptions. In every project, you have to assume the worst. You have to assume the best and the worst. So we are assuming that the steering committee, that's our project sponsor, project managers, and the product owner, they might delay in decision making. We are also assuming that the tools and the environment we are going to be using in the project might not be available. And we're also assuming that the checks, compliance review should follow plan timeline. So we are just assuming that it should follow the plan timeline, or like these checks that are going to be performed should follow this a plan timeline. So we are just assuming. And there's also I've already spoken about the constraints and then the dependencies. So dependencies are things that we can't control. Things that are not within our, we just can't control. And that's the timelines for App Store review. That's Google and then Apple. So reviewing of products is in their hands, so it's not really in our control. And then also capabilities and approval by the payment provider API. Okay, I'm actually quite rushed because I have 5 minutes. And then the milestone and then timelines as well. So the period and what we are actually going to achieve within each period. So you're going to use 4 months. Like I said, this is just revamping. We are not building from scratch. So we do not need a long time to do the project. So in the first month, we're going to gather requirements. Second month to the third month, we're going to build. We are going to integrate whatever thing we want to integrate into the website and then app. And then the last month, we are going to test the data. We are going to fix bugs and then launch it. Okay, so it's just going to take 4 months. And then lastly, we've got the project approval and sign off. So finally, the project has been signed, has officially been signed. We've acknowledged risks, governance has been acknowledged, scope, timelines, and deliverables have all been agreed upon. So all we need to do is just the sign off. So the project sponsor, Analytics, project manager, myself, product owner, Pod Orion Shop. So we just need the signature and date, and then the project officially starts. So thank you so much for your time. Forgive me for rushing, but they said I have 5 minutes.
All
Right.
right. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation. Right. So while going through the presentation, I was really excited. Like this is beautiful, right? We are saying, okay, the tech space is only for the men, it's only for the men. But
Yeah.
see a women, see the amazing presentation you just made. Thank you so much for this awesome. I have a lot
Thank
of
you too.
questions for you, right? And I'm sure that the
Uh-huh.
the audience has a lot of questions to ask you, like how possible is this? I see you mentioning something like Moscow and the likes. I was like, okay, what is this? Because I'm a cybersecurity analyst, and I know that
Uh-huh.
before you joined the session, probably maybe you didn't even have the idea of what it is.
No, I
But now
didn't.
you still have idea. But I will have one question from you,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And I will throw some questions from the audience. I'm sure yes, they have question for you, right? So the one question I want to ask you is, I know
Okay.
you are working with a pod group because I saw the business Podorion, right? The business
Yes,
owner.
please. Yeah.
What is the most critical decision you made as a project manager? Because now you can call yourself a project manager because of this project you just made, right? So what is the most critical decision you made as a project manager and why?
Is it concerning the project I just presented?
Yes, yes. You are working as a project manager, right, on the
Right. Yeah.
project. So what is the critical decision you made while making those projects? And why do you make that position?
So like I said, we are looking at risk because I spoke about risk and then constraints. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually one of the critical decisions I made was that I was able to include everyone, even though they are not too skillful. But just so they don't feel left out, I managed to bring something out of them just for them to realize they've got something that can be beneficial to the project we are working on. Okay, just so that their inputs or even if it's just little, we want to include every what do you call it, option or idea you've got in the project. So no idea is too small. So one of the things I did was I can clearly see that um people on my team might not really have an idea. Like that's why I spoke about cross training staff. Okay, so just bringing out that kind of how do I even say it? It's like just bringing this out of them that they can actually do it. So what I'll say is that I managed to actually include them, include their input in the project. sometimes it wasn't really beneficial to the project, but I just found a way around it to just include into the project and make them
All right.
home. Yeah, so
All
that's what
right.
I'm
Thank you
saying.
so much. All right, thank you. So I know the reason why I asked the question is that it's really
Yeah.
hard to manage a team, to work together as a team.
Yep.
So that's I know it's really hard, but you working with a team as a project manager and you're able to execute this. This is
Uh-huh.
really beautiful. So I
Yeah.
will throw the question in the chat box, right? The audience can ask you one question and we are going to be attending to that. So if you have any question to ask Doris, please go ahead and ask her. And the last question I'll be asking you, and we don't want to drop off after this because I am going to be asking you another questions after the second presenter, right? So the
Right.
other question is, can you describe your skill level from before you joined Analytics and
Right.
now, right? Joining
Okay.
the mentorship session, the live classes, the revamp CV, the weekly. Just can you tell us your skill level from the last 3 months?
Okay, so to start it off, I've always been in education. I've been a teacher, teaching assistant. That's just what I've been doing my whole life. And I didn't know anything about project management. Okay, so I was actually wondering how is this going to work? What kind of skills do I have that I can transfer from my teaching field to project management? But then I realized that I've planned lessons. I have led students,
Mhm.
and administration. So I'm like, okay, and then I've got these skills to just transfer, and then let's just see how it goes. And honestly, I must say, I never imagined I would love agile project management like I do now. Because I was thinking about, is it going to be difficult? Is it going to be something I'm not going to be good at? Is it going to be? But here I am, I'm just falling in love with it. And I'm always like trying to find resources to even make me become better. Okay, so I'm actually grateful to Senalytics for that opportunity, and I had no idea something like this existed until my husband actually introduced me to it, and that was when. And I also have a colleague who is also into project management. Okay, so
All
everything
right.
just made it much more better, and I love the fact that my CV has been revamped. The mentorship sessions, you don't really get them anywhere. So it just makes everything like, wow, this is a good decision I've actually made, and I don't think I regret it. Yes.
That's premium. That's premium, I say. All right, thank you so much for that. So
Thank you.
just wait behind while I will ask you the
Okay.
last questions, right? So
Right.
I don't know. Hi Hester, are you there? Thank you so much for this,
Thank
and
you so
I'll see
much.
you soon again.
Right.
All right. Hi Hester, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
All right. Hi, good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. So you have the floor. I don't know if we can see you also so that we can focus
Yeah,
on the
good
wow, women in tech. Awesome,
thank
awesome.
you.
Okay, all right, amazing. All right, so you have the floor, please.
Yeah,
Let's see what you got, what you've been doing for the past 3 months.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, your screen is up.
Okay. So good evening, everybody. My name is Esther, and can you hear me clearly, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank you.
Esther, and I'm currently on the data science program at Analytics. So I'll be making a presentation. It's a skin cancer data analysis, and the data was gotten from them
So,
AI diagnostics.
sorry for cutting you short, please. Also 5 minutes, please. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And I use structured queried language to, you know, to make the presentation. So introduction, this project is about skin cancer. And of course, we all know the challenge of skin cancer and how it's affecting people. So this data is a comprehensive leverage on SQL queries, and it's on patients with lesion. Lesion is just lesion in a layman term is an injury, a wound on any part of the body, on any region of the body. So lesion. So this presentation is the focus area is on environmental factors and demographic factors and lesion characteristics and diagnostics. So the problem is that skin cancer increased globally. We all know that, and it's more like the more awareness, the better for everybody. And the environmental lifestyle as well, coming from our environmental factors, our lifestyle factors, and also lack of integrated data analysis. Like, just like if I hadn't gotten this data and to analyze, I don't think we would have known some things concerning skin cancer diagnostics and the rest of that. So this presentation is basically to analyze lesion patients and to know if those lesions are cancerous or non-cancerous, and that will help for early treatment, early diagnostic, early detection. So the objective is to analyze patients' data to identify key predictors, to assess how environmental exposures relate to cancer, to evaluate the demographic variables, and also to provide actionable insights. So the data used for this presentation is gotten from DEM AI Diagnostics, and it consists of two tables, Table 1 and Table 2. Table 1 has the patient's data, that's the demographic and environmental data of the patients, while Table 2 has the lesion diagnostics, that's the wound diagnostic, everything you have to know about the lesion, that is the injury. So the first analysis is based on environmental factor, and it was based on water and sewage system. So with this presentation, you could see that the patient, am I out?
No, you're audible.
Okay.
All
so you could see that the patients that do not have pipeline system and sewage system, they have lesions. So that's to tell you that majority of the lesion patients never had pipeline system and they never had a sewage system, or maybe they could have, but a poor one. So based on pesticide exposure, patients who are exposed to pesticide had lesion. So that's to tell you those pesticides are basically cancerous. So based on demographic factor, we could see on our charts that patients who drinks and smokes tend to have cancer. They tend to have skin cancer diagnostics. They tend to be diagnosed of skin cancer. And age, patients based on age distribution from the mid childhood to teen, youth, old adults, elderly, we could see that they had lesion. So lesion is not basically age based. It could happen to any age factor. It could happen to anybody, irrespective of their age. Then gender, based on gender, majority of our lesion patients were male, and that could be as a result of exposure, maybe lifestyle. We know male, they take more risks than the female, they do all sorts of things than, so we could say this could be a factor that made the male had a higher lesion case. So based on family background, most of the lesion patients they don't have their parents, like their family background, their mother and their father had no cancer history. So we could say it's not, basically most of our illness are based on genetic, but for this range of patients and this for this particular analysis, we could say that most of our patients their family, their mother or father had no cancer history, or they could have lesion, but they had no cancer history. So this project is basically to make us know that these injuries on our body they are cancerous. And for you to know that they are cancerous, you have to conduct an analysis. Of course, we have biopsy in the medical terms to let us know that this is cancerous. We had diagnostics, but on this, on the tech aspect, data analysis, data science can actually let you understand or make you draw insight and make you.
All right. I think we lost her a bit. Oh my God. So I was really enjoying the presentation before she left us. I think she's having a network issue, right? Ah, Esther. Okay, so while waiting for her before she joins back, I have a lot of questions for her because most of the things I'm even hearing, lesions, skincare, skin cancer. If I haven't been in this session today, I don't think I will ever have the idea what lesion is. We even on the call, I have to go and browse it, like what is lesion, so that I can have a better understanding about that. But this is really amazing. I saw a question in the chat box, someone asking if she's a data analytics or a data science. She's actually in data science program and she's using SQL to work on this particular project. I hope she joins us back soon so that we are going to be hearing from her how she's able to transit and make this possible. So let's just okay. So give me a moment why I reached out. All right. So while waiting for her to join, you can drop your question in the chat box, please. You can drop your questions in the chat box. I know you have a lot of questions for her because I have a lot of questions for her because this is really interesting. This is really amazing. And I can see some questions in the chat box. Difference between what is the difference comparing to healthcare data analytics? All right. So all your questions, everything you want to wait behind so that my colleagues will be taking that and answering all your questions. So before we move on, hi Doris, are you there?
Hi, Latif. I'm here,
Oh,
please.
all right, thank you so much. So, like I said earlier, like I want to ask you a particular questions before you drop off, and this is just like an advice. I want to ask you if I'm new to tech, just as the audience on the call right now, and I want you to advise me. I want you to convince me why it is really necessary if I'm struggling to get into tech. Give me that advice that I need to get into tech, and why it is that okay, you need to join Truth Analytics apart from other programs you've been seeing so far. So I just wanted to share that light, just give me the advice. If I'm struggling, right, I'm struggling to get tech, and you want to advise me with how you've been able to transit. So let's hear from you on that. Okay.
Um,
Mm, I, oh, sorry about that. I think Esther
Esther
is
is
back.
back. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yes, yes. So you already know my question, right? So I'm going to be asking that later. So ask you can give an answer to that, please. You can give an answer to that.
All right. So, do you want me to just okay? So what I would tell the person is that join something that has results, and I mean you have to. How do I even say this? I'll just say that as associate yourself with an organization or something that produces results. And because I heard of Tanalytics from someone who was benefiting from Tanalytics and how convincing the person was. And when we look at the tech space, it looks like it's more demanding now, and it's also easy to transition through the help of Synalytics. And all I'll just say is that they have results, so just give them a second thought. Consider joining the tech world through Synalytics because it's really worth it. Yes, I'm only 3 months into it, and I'm already. I don't want to go back. Like I just love it. It's a good decision I made. Yes, and I'm not saying it
Oh,
because of Latif or because of whoever, but I'm saying it because I mean it. I mean, I'm really happy I decided to transition, yeah, from education to the tech world. Yes, please. So,
all right. Thank you so much for that. And I really love hearing that from you, right? Within 3 months, and you can sell us anywhere like, okay, this is what we do. Thank you so much for that. So I think we have Esther back. Hi, Esther, are you there?
Yes, yes.
All right,
Sorry, I don't know
all
what
right,
happened to the network.
all right, fine. Okay, you can just let's round up. So you have the floor. You can share your
Okay,
screen. So let's round up so that we are going to be we still have a lot of sessions tonight, and we want every one of us to benefit in that. So you can continue. Just round up like 2 minutes, please. Thank you.
okay,
All right.
okay. Thank you. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes. Your screen is up also.
Okay, then. So, like I was saying, the whole thing is basically um this whole presentation is about, analyzing skin lesion, analyzing patient lesion, like these wounds on patients' body, they could be cancerous. There's every possibility that they are cancerous. And in this data set, I used structured query language to, it was a raw data with no meaning, with nothing to draw, nothing on a layman would just sit and be like, what do you want to get from this data? But I was able to use it to analyze, and I was able to bring out some insights from those data. And what I got was that skin we had a total patients on this in this presentation. I analyzed 1004 patients, and out of that 461 patient lesion were pre-malignant, and that says that they were non-cancerous. They were pre-malignant, that is non-cancerous, but there is every tendency for it to be cancerous. It's already on its way to being cancerous, but not yet. Then we had 346 cases that were malignant, meaning they were already cancerous. And we had 281 cases which were benign, that they were not cancerous. So with this analysis, we're able to detect that 461, which was actually a larger part of the data, were pre-malignant, meaning they were on their way, they're already on their way to become cancerous. So with this data, we're able to detect, and that helps to, for that helps for the medical personnel to, the medical personnel to take actions in order to stop these lesion cases to become cancerous, and that was it. So if you don't mind, I would like to show you my SQL. This is called Postgres. It is pgadmin 4, and this was where I ran my query. It was the raw data, and I did the query. And so if you could see, these were all the queries I keyed in. These are the queries I actually made to get these insights and to give you this presentation. So thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
awesome. This is really beautiful, right? Thank you so much for this. So, like I was saying
you.
earlier, before the network cut you off earlier, can I ask a question, please? Are you like a doctor or into a medical practitioner before?
Not really.
Wow. Because most of
Yes.
the times you're actually using, I have to go on my browser and start checking, okay, what is Legion? Because this is the very first time I'm hearing it. But without wasting much time, I'll just have to ask one question from you. Can you tell me what surprised you the most when analyzing this skincare cancer, right? Using SQL in particular, and what did it teach you about the real world experience, real world data? Can you tell me about that, please?
Yeah, it was basically like you said, I'm not a medical practitioner. I had no knowledge about this data. Actually, exposed me, and I had to, make research and really study about it, and I was able to, get insights about the data. So by classification, I studied engineering.
Wow.
So delving into data science was basically, a very interesting one. I really wanted to, do a lot of things. Even in the engineering world, we still do analysis. We still collect data. Even I did one project in school that I had to analyze the data, and then I was a novice. I didn't know anything about analysis. I didn't know what it means. So, but right now, I think there's nothing. I'm good. I'm good to go.
All
From the
right. Thank you so
query,
much.
yes.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for that. So I'm sure the audience have a lot of questions to ask you. Like, how is it possible within 3 months you are able to execute this? You may looking at this, right? Through your presentation, I could understand, but I'm sure that most of the majority work was done through SQL, the one you showed us at the back end, right? So
Yes.
with this, I know how technical it can be, but you were able to break it down to us. Even me as a cybersecurity analyst, I was able to grasp a lot of things because I have to go and research and I was able to understand what you were telling me right now. But before you drop off, I'm sure the audience have a lot of questions to ask you. I'm sure like there is a lot of questions in the chat box for you. But I will just ask you one questions, and if possible, I will ask you a question from the chat box. Then we have it today. Can you tell me, like, can you give us an advice, right? Your advice for someone struggling to get into tech. Can you give us an advice? Because most of the audience on the call right now, they are trying to get into tech, and it's been an also for them. Like, is this possible? Is this what they can need to do? Right? Just give us an advice. Like, I'm struggling right now. Give me an advice to get me into tech.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first of all, let me say something. I had a close friend who saw me doing this, and she was like, "Do you think I can do it too?" I said, "Of course you can. You just have to, make up your mind. Whatever thing we make up our mind to do, I don't think we will definitely be able to do it as far your mind is made up." So that's to still tell each and every one of us on this section today that you can do it. Apart from, you don't need to have a tech background. Like me, I had no tech background, but I know I came from the engineering sector, but I had no tech background. I only had the idea of our normal Microsoft applications, Word, Excel, and the rest, which I didn't know. But with data science, I was able to, in fact, I was able to learn advanced Excel. Even those ones I was doing, I knew those ones were just crumbs. So I was able to learn advanced Excel and SQL, Python, machine learning, and the rest of that. And at first it looked overwhelming, but with the LMS, with videos, watching our LMS, by the time we have every live class was more like, we were just trying to, our LMS is usually like what I used to say. LMS is more like our learning managed system is more like they are just showing you want to cook egusi soup, right? Okay, this is your meat. They will teach you how to boil your meat, how to make your egusi and everything, how to prepare your oil. And on the live class, they will show you how you put all these things together, and it becomes very easy. So I think like I talk about analytics everywhere because I'm a I'm a product, and I'm proud to be a product of Tenalytics. Sincerely
All
speaking,
right. Thank
I'm
you so
proud.
much for thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
I'm sure that in the chat box, or the audience, they have a lot of questions to ask you. Like, I'm seeing a lot of questions right now. But I know you have a lot of questions to ask me right now also, and my colleagues will be answering that. We'll be asking a lot of questions. I'm sure that when I started the session, I said we have a lot of goodies for everyone on this call right now, and my colleagues will be answering your questions, and the goodies will be shared also after the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Esther, for coming to the session.
Thank you.
Hi, Priscilla. Please come and answer our question, please.
Yeah, hi Latif. Confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear, I can hear you.
All right, that was such a fantastic session. Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you so much, Doris. I enjoyed every bit of it. Okay. It was really good to have you here. Okay, guys, I hope we also enjoyed the session. For those of us in the audience, I hope you had a good time like I did. If you enjoyed, listening to Esther and Doris talk about the projects they've worked on in just 3 months of training with Tenalytics, please leave a yes in the chat. It can't be just me that enjoyed every aspect of it, okay? So if you also, enjoyed every aspect of the session, please leave a yes in the chat. I see a couple of us on the call, okay? I see Kunle, I see Reginald, I see Folashade, beautiful. Okay, hi Billions. I think I know you from a previous session. Okay, all right, beautiful. So we're just gonna get on to to the other half of the session, and I'll basically be talking to you about the importance of projects and why you need to work on projects, basically. Now, we had this project showcase session for a specific reason, just to see you, just to enable you see the importance of working on projects, okay? And the types of projects that you will be working on when you get into Tenalytics. Of course, like Latif said, we're an ed tech firm. We train people, okay? And one of our strategy is to ensure that you are learning by working on projects. So if you're in the audience, a billion-dollar question in your mind would be, what is the importance of working on projects? Why do I have to work on projects? I have a couple of, reasons for you. But before I get into it, I want you to just think about this whole project scenario and why you need a project. Just think about it critically, okay? Especially if your focus in the tech space is on getting a job. Okay, if the reason why you are coming into the tech space is to transition into tech, get a job that would afford you flexibility, right? You don't have to do 9 to 5, work long hours, and even with flexibility, you get really good pay. And alongside that, you have the option of working from home and all of that. If your focus is on that, before you get a job, right? Before an employer is able to trust you and say, okay, take this job, they would need you to have experience, right? Just think about it. Going into an interview, they'll ask you, oh, you're a data analyst, you're a project manager. Do you have experience? But then you need a job to actually get the experience. So you see that it's just a loop. First of all, they need you to have experience, right, before they give you the job. But then you even need a job to get that experience. So how do you literally bridge this gap? That is where projects comes in. Okay, so I'll talk you through the importance of working on projects. And the very first one is, as a beginner, I'd like to assume that everybody here on this call were majorly beginners, looking to get into tech, looking to transition into tech. All right. Now, as a beginner in the tech space, theory alone does not cut it. Especially if your focus is on getting a job. You cannot go and tell an employer, oh, this is what Excel is used for. This is what Jira is used for. You just give them theoretical knowledge based on what you read. It doesn't cut it in the tech space. Okay, and this is where projects comes in. Projects enable you to gain hands-on experience on the concepts you have learned. So you learn concepts quite all right. You learn the theoretical bit, but you see that thing that gives you the experience. Okay, you see that thing that gives you the experience that you need. It is projects. You definitely see what Esther and Doris did. Okay, tell me, if I were to be an employer, say I'm trying to recruit a data scientist, a healthcare data scientist, and all of that, with all of these things that Esther has just shown me, don't you think I would be confident that she knows her onions and she can do the job? Absolutely. That's what working on projects gives to you. This is somebody that is not a medical practitioner. Okay, but she has experience already. That is what working on projects gives to you. So you see that theory alone doesn't cut it. It is just by working on projects. That's how you gain the hands-on experience. Okay, that's how you gain the hands-on experience in the tech space. Now, the second reason why you should work on projects is they serve as evidence of real capability. Now, when employers are telling you, or when you see a job description and you see 2 years experience in Python and all of that, what they want to see is, has this person actually done anything related to Python? Have they worked on any project related to Python? Have they solved problems using Python? That's what they want to see when they have on job description 2 years experience, using Python. They want to see if you have solved any problem using that tool. And then if you show them a project, okay, if you show them a project, oh, this is what I use Python for, this is what I use SQL for, this is what I use Jira for, they just know that you have the capability. They can trust you enough to give you the job. Okay, so this is the second important reason why you have to work on project. The third is Employers trust projects because they can use it to assess ability before they hire you. They need to be able to tell, has this person done this thing before? You say you're a project manager, right? You say that you're a product designer, you're a DevOps engineer, a cybersecurity professional, and that's a role you're applying for. Remember, in the tech space, they don't just hand you the job and then they would train you and just watch you learn on the job. No, they want you to have experience. And getting into the interview, they need to trust that, okay, this person has done this thing before. And if I give them this job, they can deliver. The only thing, the only evidence, the only place where they go to see your thought process and then they're able to assess your ability is by looking at your project. So if you don't have projects, what would you show to employers? If you don't have projects, how would you say that I've gained this experience? Okay, so this is the utmost importance of working on projects. But then getting into tech, you don't just start working on any sort of projects. Where do you start from? You have to start from the very basics, from the beginning. Okay, and to get a project to work on, it has to be in a path. You can't just take up a construction project, okay, without any direction, without any path. Just like Esther, right? She's in the data science program. She's working on projects in that program. Doris is in the project management program. She's working on projects related to that program. So the very beginning, the genesis of all of this is for you to, first of all, decide a path. And then you get to work on projects in that path. That's how you get started, basically. Okay. And then, you're getting into that path. You're deciding, okay, this is the path I want to get into, and I want to get a job. As a beginner, you have to be very, very strategic. Okay. The tech space, I'm sure you must have heard of it. It's very, very competitive. So what that means is you, as a beginner looking to start, you have to be very intentional and strategic. And what is the strategy that works? So you have it here on my slide. I've highlighted the strategy that works for beginners, for intermediates looking to advance their skill level. You first of all have to learn. That is the genesis. That is the beginning, learning. Now, after you're done learning, you then position, because it is not enough to learn. It is not enough to say, I know how to do this thing, especially if the focus is on getting a job. It is not enough to learn. You have to prove to the recruiter that I'm the best person for the job. You have to convince the recruiter that you are the best person. And that is where positioning comes in. So after learning, you have to position as an authority in that field, somebody that knows their onions. And you do that by positioning. All right. Then you apply. Okay. You have to shoot your shot out there. You have to apply as many times as you can. So you put all of this together, the strategy, learn, position, and apply, and you are able to land yourself a job. This is a tested and proven strategy, one that has worked, over the course of the years. All right. And I recommend this to any beginner. So let's talk about learning. Okay, let's talk about learning. Now, the mistake that some people make is to, just hear their friends talking about, or it's graphics design that people learn these days. And then they feel like I should get into graphics design. It's the in thing. Right? They feel like, okay, this person is talking about this thing. It's the in thing. So it's something I need to learn. That is a mistake that most people make. And I don't want you to make that mistake. Now, you see why it's a mistake. You get into a career path and then you figure that there are no jobs. You learn the skill and then it takes you 6 months, a year to even get an internship role. There are barely any jobs for people in certain set paths. So that is why today I want you to make a decision about getting into a career path that is in demand, not just any career path, but one that is in demand. So the first strategy, remember, is to learn. And you should learn, and get skills in a career path that is currently in demand. Now, how do you even know if a career path is in demand? How do you know that if you learn, if you get into that career path, you will be able to land a job? So we've done the heavy lifting here at Analytics. Okay. Now, what we did was, we train people, we help people get into tech, into different career paths. And tech is really broad. So which one did we figure to concentrate on? Which one did we decide that, yes, this career path, if you get into them, you find that they're in demand and you're able to get a job after acquiring the skills. In order to come to the conclusion of the career paths that you need to learn, the first thing we did was job board analysis. So we combed different job boards, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Read.co, Monster, CV Library. We combed different job boards. We did our analysis on these job boards because we needed to be sure that, yes, if we'll be training people, they're getting into career paths that are in demand. And if a career path in demand, it translates to you getting a job as fast as possible. You don't want to learn something that will take you 2 years to even land a first job. So that is the reason why we did our job board analysis. Now, after doing our job board analysis, we were able to, conclude on certain parts. Oh, these are the parts that are in demand. But we didn't just stop there, okay? Because there's something like a role going out of demand. We didn't want you to, be in that position where you get a skill and then in 2 years you're running helter-skelter and trying to get another skill in another path. So what we did to that effect was to get a global view. And to do that, we visited the Future of Jobs report by the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is made up of your tech leaders, and what they do is to chart the course for different career paths. Oh, this career path will grow in demand, right? This one would decline in demand. So we needed to be sure that you see those career paths that we've gone to do our analysis on, they are amongst the career paths that will grow in demand. Okay, so that was it about getting a global view. Now, apart from that, we also needed to do regional analysis because for most people getting into tech, they want to leave. Confirm that you can hear me, please. If you can hear me, please leave a yes in the chat. So I'm sure that you can hear me and you're following me. If you can hear me, please leave a yes in the chat. All right, beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, right? Now, for people looking to transition into tech, apart from the fact that they want flexible schedules, they don't want to do 9 to 5, right? And they want the money as well. They also want remote opportunities. Some people are looking to migrate. Some people are looking to get visa with the skill that they have, sponsorship and the likes. So we needed to do something called regional analysis. So for a place like UK, we took a look at something called the skilled worker visa. Now, for the skilled worker visa, you have certain eligible occupations. We needed to be sure that, okay, if you get into this career path that is in demand, it will help you get a skilled worker visa. Right? For a place like the US, we needed to be sure that, these career paths that we have are career paths that have job titles with highest H-1B acceptance rates. And for Canada, we needed to be sure that they're amongst the, provincial nominee programs, the priority streams where you have certain skilled jobs that you ought to have done that will add to your points. Right? So we needed to be sure of this alongside. So you see all the multi-factor authentication that we did. We took a look at job board analysis. We did our job board analysis. We took a look at a global view to be sure that these career paths are paths that are in demand. And then we also did something called regional analysis, right? And that led us to 10 fantastic career paths out of a plethora of options. Out of all of the career paths in tech, we're focused on just 10 of them, all right? We have the business analyst as one, the data analyst, the data scientist, the agile project management, just like Doris and Esther, data science, agile project management, right? Data engineers, cybersecurity analyst, HR analyst, financial analyst, DevOps engineers, product designers. Now, these are the 10 career paths that you will get into. You don't need a degree to get into these paths. Right? You can work remotely, they will pay you well, and then they help you with your visa needs as well. Okay, so we came to a conclusion right? And then this is a snippet of what the future of jobs report looks like. Now, to the right, you see the jobs that would decline in demand. Okay, to the right, you see the jobs that will decline in demand. To the left, you'd see the roles that will grow in demand. And you find that every single path that we have here at Analytics, every single career path are amongst the path that will grow in demand. Now, I don't want you to take my word for it. That's why I've left the link to the Future of Jobs report on this slide. So what I want you to do is to fill the attendance form. Okay, fill the attendance form so that when you get access to this slide, okay, you're able to go over, cross-check every single thing that I've said so far. So now that we know the 10 career paths, that will land you the job the fastest, right? That would afford you flexibility, high paying. It is time to decide on which of them you want to go for. Okay, because that is the very first step in the strategy. Learn. To learn, you have to decide on a path. Okay, so what I'll do, what I've done is to just include a link to a quiz platform. Okay, we'll be walking through it together. I want you to leave this call today knowing fully well the career path that is best suited for you. All right, if you're a teacher, if you're a customer care representative, if you're a healthcare worker, if you're a student, you just got done with your master's, there's a career path for you, and would figure that out right now on this call. So my colleagues have put the link to this quiz platform. Okay, the essence of this is, you get to be asked questions. All right, you get to be asked questions, and then you get to discover the right career path for you based on your personality. Okay, based on transferable skills that you have. So this is what the quiz platform looks like. All right, so I have a couple of us here on the call. If you'll be going through this quiz with me, because I'll be doing it here on the call in the next 5 minutes, we'll go through it together. We'll be able to discover the right career path. If you will be going through this quiz, please leave a yes in the chat so I know that we're together and we're on our way to discovering the right career path. Okay, so if you'll be going through this quiz, Kunle says yes, Regina says yes, beautiful. So you have the link right there in the chat. And once you click on the link, it brings you to this quiz. So just walk with me, right? Click on the link on your screen. Okay, because I want you to tell me the path that it will suggest to you. So just click on the link. Let's walk through it together. Now, once you click on that link, it brings you to this site and you see, find the tech career you were made for. Discover your path. So you want to click on discover your path. Okay, and when you click on discover your path, it brings you here. It's giving tech error. Okay, just scroll down and click let's go, because this is the very first step. The first step to success is, deciding on a path. So click on let's go. Now, when you click on let's go, it will ask you, which tech paths are you interested in? There are a couple of them. I know that for some of us on this call, we might not have any idea on any of them. We're just here to decide. So what I want you to do is just choose all of them. Because you don't know which one to go for, choose all 10 of them. The essence of the quiz is it would now help us narrow it down to one. Okay, so just choose all the options. Choose as many as you can. When you're done choosing, click on tap here. Okay, when you click on tap here, it will ask you your immigration goal. What's your immigration goal? Do you want visa sponsorship? Right? You want an employer to sponsor your work visa. Click on that, right? If you want a career that qualifies for PR points in Canada, click on that. If you already have work or authorization and this isn't a factor for you, this is not something you're considering, you can also click on that. Okay, and then I'm staying in my current country or remote work preferred, click on that option as well. So click on the one that speaks best to you. I'll click on I'm staying in my current country or remote work preferred. And when you click on that, it will ask you, what's your current or most recent career field? You must have studied something. You must have done something. So just go ahead and tap on your most recent or current career field. It could be finance, accounting, banking. It could be healthcare, pharma, life sciences. It could be teaching, training, education. It could be IT support, technical support, engineering. It could be marketing, sales, business development, HR, admin, operations, creative, design, media, construction, manufacturing, logistics, legal, compliance, audits, unemployed, career switcher, students. There's an option for everybody. Even to those of us that are entrepreneurs and founders, freelancers, there's an option. So just tap on the one that speaks best to you. I'll tap on teaching, training, and education. Now, once I tap on that, it will ask, how do you prefer to work? How do you prefer to work? Okay, so you have 4 options to pick from. The first is, I thrive leading discussions and collaborating with stakeholders. Is that something you enjoy? Talking to people a whole lot. You want to be in meetings. You are an extrovert. You really like to converse. If possible, you want to lead a team. You want to pick that. You have, I enjoy teamwork, but need focused solo time to do my best work. Now, if you're a bit, introverted, or what's the midpoint, right? If you're just at the midpoint, you like, teamwork, but most of the times you just need your focus time. You can click on that. Then if you prefer deep independent work with minimal meetings, also tap on that. That is, you're an introvert. You don't like to talk too much. You don't want to be in a meeting where you have to speak a whole lot, right? You just need to work on the background, use your tools independently. Of course, you'd ask questions and all of that. But if this speaks to you, click on that. Then you have, it depends on the task. I adapt to what's needed, right? If you're that flexible, also click on that. Right? So I'll click on, it depends on the task. I adapt to what's needed. If you're following me, click on the one that speaks best to you, right? Now, when you click on that, it will ask you, which best describes how you approach problems. So if you have a problem right now, what's your approach? The first option says, I map it out first. Steps, dependencies, the full pictures. For those of us that get confused easily, you want to fleshing out the entire thing, right? You can pick on that. The next option is, I dive into the data and let patterns guide my decision. You want to go back to past records. You have a problem, but you want to go back to past records to see, have we had this problem before? How did we handle it? You want to click on that. Then you have, I think about the user experience and work backwards. Okay, say you're working on a certain project, right? And you have a problem. Do you like to put yourself in the shoes of the user? Say you have an application. Do you like to put yourself in the shoes of the user? Right? So that you get to understand their perspective. Tap on that. Then you have, I look for what could break and fix that first. If you have a problem right now and this speaks to you, click on that. Then you have, I experiment, I iterate, and optimize as I go. For those of us that don't like the clear picture, because it will take time to get the full picture, you just want to experiment, you want to iterate, you want to, as you go, you don't want a perfect thing. Okay, you don't mind working with it and then perfecting it later. You can click on that as well. So click on the option that suits you. Right? For me, I want to see if it has happened before. So I'm going to click on, I dive into data. Then the next question is, how comfortable are you with technical tools? If you're very comfortable, click on that. If you're somewhat comfortable, you can learn. You feel like, I don't know anything, but I can learn. Click on that. If you're a basic user, you like to use tools, but you don't really go deep. You've just learned Excel. You just learned how to input data. You can click on that. Then if you have, I prefer visual design tools over spreadsheets. For those of us that are creatives, you like to design. You like to draw, you like to map out things. You can click on that. Then I want to avoid heavy technical work if possible. Also click on that, right? Click on the options that work best for you. Then you have, what's your relationship with coding? Do you love it or you want to master it? Click on that. Are you open to light scripting? Would you rather not do anything code or just low code? Or you prefer logic and systems thinking over syntax? Click on that. If you also want to lead a team, click on that. Right? Now, when you click on that, it would ask you what motivates you most in a career. Is it the money? High earning potential, you want top tier compensation, or it's job security, or it's remote flexibility, or it's leadership path, or it's making impact, or you're even still figuring it out. You don't know what motivates you the most. You have an option for you. You can click on that, and then you click on next. Now, when you click on next, it asks you what type of impact resonates most with you. They want to transform how organizations operate. So this organization is operating a certain way. You want to change that. Click on that. Do you want to build systems that scale to millions of users? Click on that, right? You want to protect critical data and infrastructure? Click on that, right? Helping companies make better decisions, turning complex data into clear business decisions, predicting outcomes and building intelligent systems, creating products people love to use, ensuring softwares ship reliably and fast. Click on the one that works best for you. Now, when you're done clicking, it will ask you to put in your name. Okay, so just go ahead, put in your full name. Okay, put in your first name, your last name, your mobile number. Okay, you want to click on that. You want to click your mobile number. You also want to put in your email address. Okay, you want to put in your email address and check the box and then click on next. Okay, you want to put in your email address, a valid one, check the box and click on next. Now, once you do that, it will suggest a path for you. It has suggested my path, and that is data science. So if we've gone through this, Reginald, yeah, please just leave your response in the chat. It has suggested a path for you. Kindly leave that in the chat so that we know, which part we're in for. Kunle, Regina, Samsung, tell me what it has suggested to you. Okay, tell me what it has suggested to you. All right, so I'm just giving us 2 extra minutes to round up the quiz, and then I know what it suggests. So Regina, Kunle, Samsung, are we still on this? Let me know the path it is suggesting to you. Okay, I have Zoom user, I have iPhone, I have Obeniwa, I have Ifeyinwa, I have Otenzia, Fumi, Folashade, Engineer Obina, Chi, Bright, Admin. If it has suggested a path, please leave that in the chat. All right, leave that in the chat so that, okay, Kunle says data analytics. Regina says data analytics. Samsung says data analytics. That's absolutely fantastic. So now that we're able to know, right? I see another response in the chat. Folashade says data science. Beautiful. So now that we've discovered the path for us, if you're still taking it, just leave your response in the chat. Okay, if you're still taking it, I'm looking forward to your response, right? Just leave that in the chat. So now that we found the career path that suits us, we've gone through the first step, which is discovering a path. Now you've discovered that path. For most people that are conventional, the next thing for them to do is just to go on platforms, Google, oh, what do I need to learn? Right? Some people would even take a look at the job description to see, okay, what are the things that are required? Okay, she says data analytics, beautiful. Now, the best way to learn if you want to land a job for data analytics, for data science, right? Every other path, the best way to learn, remember the loop we spoke about initially, where you don't have experience, but they need that to give you the job, but then you need a job to get experience. So how do you get that experience? It is projects. Even while working in, any organization right now, in your current job, the only way you're able to move up the ladder, right, is just by experience. And what gives you the experience? The task you've solved, the problems you've worked on, the projects you've worked on. And, for those of us that want to learn about breaking into tech, that's the only way to learn. If you want to get a job, you learn in a project-based environment. What that offers to you is you learn by doing the real work. I mean, you saw what Doris presented. You saw what Esther presented. If you were to be a recruiter and you were able to see that, would you guess that Esther doesn't have a health tech background? Would you guess that if you saw what she was able to do, the insights, the analysis? Absolutely not. That is what learning in a project-based environment gives to you. Now, it's not just enough to learn. You also have to be able to show the recruiter, because you can't just walk up to them, they're interviewing you, and you tell them, oh, I worked on this project, I worked on that project, I did this skincare analysis, I managed this team, and all of that. They have to see it. In the tech space, there's something called proof of work. They have to see it. And that is where your portfolio comes in. So portfolio is just like your showroom. Okay, where you can present to the employer and they're able to see that, yes, this person has done this thing that they said they have experience in. Okay, right here on my slide, you have a very young gentleman, Victor. Okay, the only way Victor was able to get a job right after training with us was because he learned in a project-based environment. Okay, he learned in a project-based environment. And then he didn't stop there. He also interned, right? He interned. He got to work with various stakeholders, data analysts, data engineers, and then he built a portfolio. I've put a link to Victor's portfolio here. Okay, so that when you get access to the slide, you can see. I also have links to other portfolios, data analyst portfolios, data scientists, cybersecurity professionals, data engineers. You have links to different portfolios here, business analyst, right? So that you get to see what a portfolio looks like. So we're able to see that the only way you're able to learn to get a job, learn in a project-based environment, and then showcase your experience. Right? Now that you know the very first step, which is to learn, you figured out a path. For Regina, for Kunle, for Samsung, we figured out a path. The second thing is positioning. It is not enough to say, I know how to do this thing. In the tech space, that is not enough. You have to position yourself as the best candidate for the job. A lot of people are applying for that same job. So how do you tell the recruiter? How do you say, yes, I'm the best candidate for this job? Okay, that is where positioning comes in. So I see the questions in the chat. Very amazing question. And thank you so much, Esther. Just leave them. Keep dropping your questions. There will be a time for question and answer. Okay, so the only way you get to convince the recruiter and say, oh, I'm the best person for this job is just by positioning. Okay, and how do you position? It's literally by getting employable, by gaining employability skills, right? There's one document that goes into the room before you do. That is your CV. Now, if you want to tell the recruiter that you're the best person for the job, that CV has to tell a lot about you, right? It has to be rightly tailored, rightly positioned. So what we've done here at Analytics is to ensure that you figured out the path, you're learning, but you still get help with your CV review and revamp, right? And then you also have LinkedIn optimization. Now, with this, you get to hear people saying, I was able to get jobs on LinkedIn. You see recruiters reaching out. The only way you're able to do that is if your LinkedIn profile is properly optimized. It carries the right keywords. For us here at Analytics, most times when we're looking to fill up a role, we go on LinkedIn and we search, and then we see certain profiles. Now, as a professional in your field, if you want a recruiter to search for that role and your name pops up, your LinkedIn profile has to be properly optimized. It has to carry the right keyword. It has to carry your CV. It has to carry your portfolio, right? It has to carry your work experience. Now, because of how you'll be learning at Tenalytics, you are learning by gaining experience, building a portfolio. On your CV, you're able to have Tenalytics as part of your work experiences. All right. Now, imagine coming from a clean slate, somebody without prior experience. You've gotten the knowledge quite all right. You have a portfolio to showcase. On your CV, you have a work experience. That is where Tenalytics comes in. Now, you would have there on your CV that you've worked with Tenalytics as a consultant. Your job description will be the projects you've worked on and the impact of those projects. So the recruiter sees that this person has the knowledge, they have projects, and they also have work experience. Right? Now, another way to stand out is just, what we do here at Tenalytics is to teach you how to apply to jobs. But we don't stop there. We're also able to provide jobs you can apply to. So that apart from the regular ones, you'd have access to premium roles. We pay to those platforms. So you don't have to pay. Yours is just to learn how to apply, which we'll be teaching you, and apply. We'll provide these jobs to you on a weekly basis. All right. Then, we also do something called interview preparation. It's your first time, you have an interview coming up as a data analyst or a business analyst. They would ask you to introduce yourself. They'll also ask you, tell me one time you used Tableau. All right. Tell me one time you used Draw.io as a business analyst. These are competency-based questions. There are strategies to answering these questions. Now, if you have an interview coming up, your job is just to book for a prep session. Now, Tenalytics will take a look at your CV, do their findings on that company, and they're able to preempt the questions you're likely to get and prepare you for that interview. All right. Now, you need a reference letter to back it up because you have a portfolio showcasing projects. You have work at Tenalytics as part of your work experience. The recruiters would reach back to us, to provide you with reference letter. Right? And that is something we're able to do here at Tenalytics. Then on the job support. So you land your first job, right? Sometimes you might need help. You have Tenalytics to come back to. And then you have something called mentorship, where you literally get handheld by people that have walked the talk, people that have gone ahead of you to get jobs. They come back and they're able to mentor you. You can't do your tech journey solo. You need a community. You need mentors. And this is something we provide here at Tenalytics. On a weekly basis, you get mentorship, right? And then you also have Upwork optimization. For those of us that are looking to, learn freelance roles, you don't want to work full time. You just want to, work on contract base, work for a couple of hours, get your cool cash, and you're done. Upwork is that platform. So we'll teach you how to optimize your Upwork profile and how you can get jobs on Upwork. So this is literally how you position. Okay, this is how you're able to tell the recruiter, yes, I'm the best person for the job by having all of these ready, your CV, your LinkedIn, and all of that. Now, the third step is to apply. Okay, you want to apply like a machine. Now, when I say apply like a machine, it's not all those easy apply on LinkedIn where you see a certain role because your CV is there, you just do easy apply. That would not get you anything. You have to be very strategic and precise. You see a role you want to apply for. You have to tailor your CV to suit that role. Okay, now when it comes to applying, that is the first step, tailoring every single application. One thing we emphasize here on Tenalytics is never reuse a CV when applying to jobs. Quite fine, you've gotten the skills as a data analyst. You see a business intelligence analyst role, you can apply. You see a data analyst role, you can apply. But for each of these roles, there are keywords that are peculiar, keywords that the applicant tracking system is looking out for. So what you want to do is you're not using a generic CV. I hope you're catching this. You're not using a generic CV. You are tailoring your CV to suit every single application. That is what it means to apply with precision. And then you do 10 quality applications a day. All right, 10 quality applications a day, and you're able to tap into paid and hidden job market. So just the same way I told you, what we do here at Tenalytics is so that you stand a good chance is to subscribe to premium job boards. So that apart from the regular ones that you're competing alongside everybody, you also get premium roles. Okay, and what we've done is, right on these roles, we have visa sponsorship roles across different locations. There's a snippet of the roles here on my screen, right? And then you get mentorship as well. Now, in this mentorship, you get sessions such as a key strategy to applying and getting a job. This is global recruiters coming back to walk you through every single thing you need. And then for some of us that like to wait, you need to know that job descriptions are most times just the recruiter's wish list. You don't need to check every box before you can apply. As a matter of fact, this is just a tip, right? As a matter of fact, if you find a job and you tick all the boxes, that job is not for you. Because how do you want to grow? So you don't want to meet all the criteria. That job is not for you, because most times these are wish lists and you need to be aiming for better roles. So you have mentorship sessions where people that are with the skills they've been able to get 3 months training in Tenalytics, 4 months. They did not meet all the criteria, but they were able to get a job. You get mentored by them, right? You get mentored by them. Okay, and then also navigating the job market and how you can utilize AI for job application. All right, a lot of people use AI for job applications and they are quite successful. So how can you do that? It is something that you will be learning here at Tenalytics. Okay, so this is what the strategy entails: learning, deciding on a path. So for about 4 of us, we were able to decide on data analytics, data science. Kunle, Regina, Samsung, Chi, right? We're able to decide on a career path. That is the first step. Learn, right? That is the very first step. You decide on a path, you focus on that path. The next thing is for you to be positioned rightly. You need to be able to tell the employer, yes, I'm the best person for this job. And that is where your CV revamp comes in, like I explained, your LinkedIn, having a portfolio, mentorship, interview preps, job reference, on the job supports. That is how you stand out. That is how you show to the recruiter, yes, I'm the best person for the job. And then you apply with precision. Okay, this is how you get a job. All right, this is how you get a job. Okay, now I'll show you somebody that used that same strategy. Okay, her name is Ikmat. All right, Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom. She had finished her master's, she had given birth, and she became a stay-at-home mom right there in the UK. Now she know that she didn't want to get into just any type of routine job. She didn't want to do care. Okay, she didn't want to do any of those sort of jobs, those survival jobs. So what she did was to join our data analytics program. Okay, the very first step, was to learn. She figured that data analytics is the path for me. Next thing was positioning. She was able to tailor our CV to a data analyst role. She joined all of the mentorship sessions. She got prepped for multiple interviews and she built a portfolio. That is how she rightly positioned. And then she applied. She applied to multiple jobs consistently. She made sure to tailor every single application. Okay, and then she was able to get a job as an information analyst. And that job came with full visa sponsorship. She got this job a month before completing a program at Tenalytics. So what I want to do, is to also talk you through another person before I, show you these testimonials. So we listened to about 2 of them. Right here on my screen, we have Judith. She to apply the learn, position, and apply strategy. For Judith, it was business analysis. She was a carer. Okay, she didn't want to keep doing care. She decided to get into the business analysis program. She tailored our CV. She positioned. And guess what? Judith has a job right there in the UK, working for a company in the US. Guess where she got that job from? From the job board, from one of the jobs that we provide access to. We also have Christian here. Right? This is a very young boy. For those of us that feel like I've been out of school, I have all the experience. I'm not sure if I can transition now. I feel like I don't know too much. This is somebody without experience, just 18 years of age. He joined the data analytics program. He was able to position, apply, and then he got a job, as a data processor and analyst. Right? This was a remote opportunity. Okay. I also have success stories from people right there in the US. I have Pavel, from a teacher to a healthcare data analyst. Okay. I have Bukola, from just studying HR back then in Nigeria. She got into business analysis and she got a job in the US as a HRIS analyst. Emmanuel, got a job as a senior operations consultant with Bank of America after going through our financial analytics program. For those of us in UK, I have some more. I have Gad that took the mechanical engineering program. Right, Esther, he was a mechanical engineer, pardon me. He took the data engineering program and he got a job. I also have Esther here, right? Esther, a care worker. She took the Agile Project Management program, just like Doris, right? And she currently has a job. Then we have Sharon. Okay. I also have, for people in Canada, we have Abednego, Amaka, and Toyin. So what I want to do briefly is to just, ensure that you get to hear from the horse's mouth yourself. So I'll just play Ikmat's testimonial. There are a couple of them. I have Pavel. Okay, I'll play Ikmat and I'll play Pavel. So what I want you to do is just listening, right? Just hear these people talk about their experience. I'll mute my mic so that you can hear for yourself. Okay, so I'm just gonna mute my mic. When you can hear the testimonial, please leave a yes in the chat. Okay, so when you hear the testimonial, leave a yes in the chat. I'm playing it now.
My name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in Tenalytics, and joining Tenalytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Tenalytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Tenalytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. We have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Tenalytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable one I've come across so far, and that's a very good advantage.
All right, so that's Ikmat. I'll just, in the next 3 minutes, I would also play Pavel's story, with testimonials so that you get to hear for yourself. So I'm just going to...
Hello everyone, my name is Pavel Gaibe, and I wanted to take this moment to share my amazing experience with Tenalytics. I first learned about Tenalytics through an Instagram ad, and I'm so glad that I took the initiative to check them out. It is something that I've never regretted, and when I did check them out, I attended a few webinar sessions where the entire package and the different courses were explained to hundreds of participants. I decided to join 2024 August cohort under the data analytics program. From the very beginning, the learning experience was incredible, and the learning materials were easily accessible through their learning management system, and the live classes provided a perfect balance between the theory and hands-on practice. Working on projects with synthetic data sets that mirrored real-world experience was a game changer for me. Through that, I was really able to get, real hands-on experience on the different tools that are vital to the data analytics role. The instructors, the facilitators were patient, knowledgeable, and true subject matter experts. Plus, on top of that, every week they had drop-in sessions for anyone that was falling behind to help them catch up and meet up with the rest of the class. And also there were weekly mentorship sessions that had a wide range of valuable topics. I secured my job 3 months after completing the coursework at Tenalytics, and right at the end of my internship. Tenalytics provided me with a professional reference, and they were ready and willing to support and guide me through my interview process. They gave timely responses to my emails, and I was very happy to know that Tenalytics was there to provide me this support during my interview process. Today, I work as a health data and reporting analyst at a physician-owned group in Arizona, USA, and the skills I learned from Tenalytics have been invaluable in my current role. At this point, if you're thinking about joining Tenalytics, my advice is simple: go for it. The structure, the support, the real-world experience they provide is second to none, and it's a community that really wants to see you succeed. So I want to say thank you, Tenalytics, for being such an instrumental part of my journey, and I'm so grateful for everything I've learned through.
Right. So this is Pavel as well, right? Attesting to the fact that we were able to provide every single support, that we said we're going to provide. Okay. Pavel, remember, was just a teacher. All right. And then he was able to get into data analytics and became a healthcare data and reporting analyst. All right. Same as Ikmat. So for you, that is just a customer care representative. Tech is for you. You have a transferable skill. right? And Tenalytics is here to ensure that you gain hands-on experience. So I've got success stories from people in Canada, and then from people in other regions. Right? I have William from Poland, Chukwuebuka from Ireland, Vanessa from France. So you see that Tenalytics has been able to help people in different regions transition into tech. Now, all of these testimonials, there are links to all of them. So fill the attendance form so that you're able to access these testimonials. Okay, so for the learning journey, what is the learning timeline like? Okay, what is the learning timeline like? So you have a total of 8 months here at Tenalytics, and that 8 months is split into 6 months of learning, where you get to gain hands-on experience, work on projects, right? Learn concepts. You learn by doing. And then you have 2 months of solid internship, where you get to collaborate with other team members. Because in as much as employers want technical skills, they also want soft skills. They want you to be able to integrate into the culture of their organization. And working in a team helps you, integrate into the culture. And that is what the internship will do for you. All right. So your internship will be done with a company that we partnered with. The company is known as Amdari. Right. And then one juicy aspect is this company we partnered with, right? You're still able to have them as part of your work experiences, and they can provide you with reference letters. So what is the learning journey like? Okay, so you have live classes here at Tenalytics, where you come on a live class on a Saturday. The live classes happen only on Saturdays. So you come on this live class, you get to interact with the instructor. You get to work on projects together. You get to ask questions. And we've made, the live classes to suit people in different time zones. For people in Europe, UK, Africa, you have the morning class, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. For people in North America, Canada, US, you have the evening class, which is your morning, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you see how flexible this is here at Tenalytics. Live classes on a Saturday, and not all Saturdays in a month, just 2 out of 4 Saturdays. Then you're also able to learn self-paced. During the week, you're able to go through resources in the learning management system, and you're able to ask questions. Then we also have the mentorship sessions. Now, remember, all sessions, classes are recorded because we understand that some of us are busy professionals, but we still want to transition. We still want to, skill up. So learning has to be very flexible. So that is why we've ensured that all of the resources here at Tenalytics, you have a lifetime access, right? And they are always recorded. Now, so this being said, okay, remember, this is you gaining hands-on experience. You have questions to ask. So what we've done is to also ensure that you get real-time support every day of the week. You choose to go through your project on a Wednesday, you have issues, you can reach out to your instructor and you're able to get support. Okay, now having known all of this, how can you start today? I'll advise that you act fast and you act smart. The reason why I'm saying this is global hiring runs on cycles. Hiring doesn't just happen randomly. You see organizations preparing to hire people by January, February. That's one of the hiring cycles. Then you have June, July, and then you have the last one in October, right? So for you that is currently on this call, you missed the first hiring cycle, right? But then, not to worry, you still have, June, July to prepare for. Okay, and how do you prepare? You literally prepare by getting started as soon as you can. Okay, and how you're able to get started as soon as you can is by joining our next cohort, which begins on the 7th of March. So this is March. You have the whole of March to learn. April, May, June. By then, you already have 4 months worth experience. You already have a portfolio. You already have access to positioning, LinkedIn, CV, and all of that. And then you can start applying. Okay, so if you want to act fast and smart, the next thing for you to do is join our next cohort, which begins on the 7th of March. What would it cost you to join the next cohort? Okay, the cost of the training here at Tenalytics is $1,250 US. All right, $1,250 US. But guess what? Because you're on this call, we have a 20% discount ongoing. So with this discount, instead of paying $1,250, you are able to pay $1,000. And then it gets better. For those of us that are worried, where do I see $1,000? I want to start. You don't have to worry about paying the large chunk. Okay, you can choose to pay that $1,000 as many as 5 times. What that means is I don't have $1,000 to learn, but I'm interested. So you split $1,000 into 5 and you pay one part of it every month. Okay, so to get started, you need a minimum of $200 out of the entire 500. So you pay $200 to get started. All right, the next month you pay another 200. You do that, and by the 5th month, you're able to complete the entire $1,000. All right, so this is what you get here at Tenalytics. All right, and just like any discount, they always come with conditions. This 20% discount that we have right now is ending tomorrow. All right, this 20% discount is ending tomorrow. So what you want to do is to take advantage as soon as you can. And then apart from the fact that it's ending tomorrow, it is also slot-based. We open this up to just 20%. I'll show you the number of spots we have left. Okay, I will show you the number of spots we have left. Now, what I want you to do is, my colleague is sharing the link to the registration platform. So you want to click on that so I can walk you through how to secure a spot. Remember, I said that this discount is slot-based. All right, I'll show you what that entails. Okay, I will show you what that entails. All right, so as soon as you click on the link, okay, as soon as you click on the link, all right, it brings you to the Tenalytics website. Okay, it brings you to the Tenalytics website. Just give me a minute to reshare this. It's still showing Pavel. Okay, so as soon as you click on the link that my colleague has dropped there in the chat, all right, it brings you to a Tenalytics website, and this is what the website looks like. All right, so when you click on the link, it brings you here where you get to see transform your career. Now, what you want to do is scroll down. Okay, we are able to see all of the career paths we have here. For those of us that are interested in data analytics, you see data analytics. All right, you're able to see that we have just 9 slots left for data analytics, and we're more than 9 here on the call. Once we have 9 people pay, the discount is off the table. If you're interested in health tech analyst, just 4 slots left, right? If you're interested in business analyst, you have 13 slots. HR analyst, 11 slots. And once all of these are filled, the discount is off the table. Now, I'll use data analytics to show you what it means to secure a spot. When you click on that link and it brings you here, and you see data analytics, click on enroll now. Okay, when you click on enroll now, it will verify your browser. Okay, so it's going to verify your browser. And as soon as it does that, it opens this up to you. Right? It opens this up to you where you get to see on another enroll now option. Okay, so let's just wait for this to load up. I'm going to refresh again. A lot of people are trying to access the site, to secure a spot. So once it brings you here, right, you click on enroll now for the program you are interested in. Okay, and then it takes you to this point. Right? It takes you to this point, and just because there's a lot of traffic, try to refresh so that you gain access. So when you refresh, let's just wait for this to load up. So you see how fast you want to be, about securing a spot. Okay, let's just give this some time. Give me a minute. Let me quickly see how to gain quick access to this. Okay, So just tap on it, ensure that you're doing this with your phone or even your laptop. All right. And then remember the first step. You go to the program you are interested in: business analysis, data analytics, health tech analyst. Okay. Go to the program you're interested in and then click on enroll now. Okay. Click on enroll now once you go to the program you're interested in. All right. So let's just, I'm bringing up my screen. This is loaded. I'm bringing up my screen so you can see this. Okay, so once you click on enroll now, it brings you here and you see data analytics. I clicked on data analytics. So for Conley, for Regina that is interested in data analytics, this is what you will see. Now click on data analytics and you see enroll now again. So just click on enroll now and then it brings you to the next available cohorts. So we have the March cohort and we have the April cohorts. Now, remember, you want to act fast and smart. If March is a good time, ensure you're choosing March. If you want to start in April, ensure that you're choosing April. But basically, click on the cohort that works for you and scroll down. Now, this should come up. You should see the cost of the training in your local currency. But just in case you see it in any other currency, you know, at the right, you would see an arrow, right, that would help you select another currency. So it's called the currency selector. So I would use pounds for sake of this explanation. So I click on pounds and I see the cost of the training in pounds. Okay, now remember, all right, that I said you can pay as many as 5 times. For those of us in UK, paying 5 times means you just need £153.20 to get started, to take advantage of this discount, right? You pay that, and by the 5th month, you get to pay a total of £766 instead of £957. Right? If you want to pay twice, you get an even further discount. Instead of paying £766, you're able to pay £690. So you split that into 2 and you're able to secure a spot. Then you can pay once, and that way you get an even better discount. All right. So you get to choose any currency that works for you. If you want to pay in US dollars, you pick that. And then, pay in pounds, you pick that. Pay in card, Naira, euros, you pick the currency that works for you. Pick the payment plan and then scroll down. Now, at this point, you're able to see if we picked the 5 monthly installments, the next time your payment will be due will be the 4th of April, but you're able to change the next payment date. Okay, if the 4th of April doesn't work for you, you can change the next payment date. Then check the box that says, I confirm my information is correct. I've read the terms and conditions, and click on pay now. Okay, so you check the box that says, I confirm my information is correct. I've read the terms and conditions, and click on pay now. So that way you're able to put in your card details and you're able to go ahead with your payment. Okay, so I hope we've been able to take advantage of the discount. Now, if we have any questions, if you have questions loading up the site, right? If you have questions registering or any question about the session so far, this is the time for question and answer. I saw a couple of questions, and I saw that Esther was able to provide answer to those questions. Thank you, Esther. So if you've got further questions, I'm going to be calling names, right? And when I call your name and you don't have a question, just leave a no in the chat. So I see Busola. All right, that's the first person I see here, on my slide. Hi, Busola, do you have any questions? Just leave a yes or no in the chat. Okay, I also see Chuku Nonso, beautiful. Chuku Nonso, do you have any questions? Busola, are you already in a Analytics program or are you looking to get started? You could just leave that in the chat as well. Chuku Nonso, do you have any questions? I also see Engineer Obina. Any questions from your end? Okay, Fumi, any questions from your end? Okay, Gossi, Otenzia, Ifeyinwa, Kunle, okay, Obeniwa, Omolara, Osas, Pearl, Regina, Samsung, Zoom user, do you have any questions from your end? So just leave them in the chat and then I'll take your questions. So Gosi is asking, if I pay now choosing the 5 installment and change my mind to pay it twice, will it be possible? So if I get your question correctly, you want to pay 153 pounds. I don't know your current location, but I'm going to speak in dollars, so that it's quite understandable. So you want to pay $200. Then afterwards, you want to choose to pay twice instead of going 5 months. Yes, you're able to pay 400 to make up for the 1,000. Right? So you first of all pay $200 if that's what you want to do, and you have a balance of $800. Then you can choose to split that into two, right? I hope that answers your question, Gosi. Busola says might start onshore. Busola, do you want to share, why you're onshore? Are there any questions that you need to ask? If it's a personal question, we have what is called a clarity session where you get to talk to a coach, right? If anyone says, how much do we pay in Naira? All right. So when you open up the site, you would see the cost in your local currency. But just in case you don't find it, here at the top right, you'd see a currency selector. So tap on that and click on Naira. All right. So when you click on Naira, you would see the cost. To get started, you need 310,000 Naira. That's all you need to get started. Okay, that's all you need to get started, if anywhere. So Gosi, this is the cost in CAD, right? So the total cost is 1,416. If you want to go for the 5 installments, you split that into 5, you get to pay 283 CAD 20, right? And then the balance you can choose to also pay twice. Hortensia says, can I pay the whole amount on Monday, please? So the discount ends today, right? The discount, if we had just 4 slots for data analytics and it ends as soon as we get 4 people to pay, it ends. But what I want you to do, Hortensia, is to reach out to me, and also I'll just put my email address here. Okay, I'll put my email address. Let's see what we have for you by Monday. Okay, so I've just put my email address, Hortensia. You can also put your email address so I can reach out to you, your email address and your phone number so I can reach out to you. So Regina says, no questions. I've registered to start in April. Beautiful. Gosi says, Busola says, I will book a session. So my colleague will drop the link to the clarity session or even on the site, Busola. Let me quickly show you what that looks like. Okay, on the site, as soon as you click on the link, you will see talk to a career coach. Okay, so you'll see talk to a career coach. You can tap on that and then you're able to book for a session. Gosi says, what if I'm not liking the training? Can I stop at any point? That's why I actually encourage people to, use the 5 monthly installments. That way you get to see what you're paying for, literally, right? You get to see what you're paying for. And then you can choose to, there's no chance that you wouldn't like the training. You would absolutely love it, right? And you would be able to, enjoy the training and take advantage of the discount. Okay, so I have a lot of traffic on this side. If you're struggling to secure a spot, please let me know, right? So that I can reach out today and we have it resolved. If you're struggling to secure a spot, let me know in the chat. So if anyone is asking how much is the discount in Naira, the original cost of the training is 1,937,500 Naira. But with this 20% discount, you're now paying a total of 1,550,000 Naira. And you're able to pay that 5 times. Okay, so if anyone, I hope that takes your question, that answers your question. Your payment got declined. Gosi, please leave a message. Please leave your email address here in the chat, right? Leave your email address here in the chat so I can reach out. Okay. Hortensia, okay, I've just gotten your details. I will be reaching out, Hortensia. I will be reaching out. Gosi, if you can do same, right? So I can reach out and have the issue resolved so that you're able to take advantage. Just let me know your details. Absolutely, you're welcome, Hortensia. Okay, Gosi, waiting for your details. How do I add a referral? Do you mean you want somebody, maybe you want to tell somebody else about the training, right? And you want to add them to the training. We've got something called referral bonuses, though, if that's what you mean. Okay. Or what do you mean? How do I add a referral? Is it during the payment? They're asking if there is any referral code. There's no referral code at the moment. Okay. Gosi, please let me know your details so that I'm able. Okay, someone referred you to the program. Okay, so they will be the one to inform us, right? They'll inform us and then we'll confirm. Just tell them to reach out to our support personnel so that we confirm. And then when you are able to take advantage, they get a discount. Okay, they get a discount. Now, when you're done paying, you'd also see, when you're done paying, you'd also get an option to include the name of the person that referred you. So you can do that. So I've gotten your details, Gosi, and I will reach out to you as soon as we're done on this session so that you're able to take advantage of the discount. Okay, so any more questions from anybody? I think I've been able to do justice to all of the questions. Okay, I've registered for April course, but I was unable to proceed to orientation. Or what next? Now, Samsung, I don't know your full name, so I'm sorry. But once you registered, you will get a confirmation. What's your full name, right? Just, or your first name. You will get a confirmation email in your email address. And the confirmation email will read that you've successfully registered. That is one. Then secondly, you'll get another email asking you to access the learning management system. Just follow the directions in that email, right? You'll see a help me video, a video that will walk you through how to access the platform. Now, once you access the platform, you're able to go through your onboarding process right there on the platform. And then when your class starts in April or before the commencement of your class, you get more details, Samsung. Okay, so Samsung, just let me know your name. All right. Do you want to let me know your name, Samsung? Meanwhile, I think I've been able to answer every question in the chat. If there are any more questions, okay, Taiwo, I'm just going to take that down, taking down everybody's detail. If there are any more questions, if you're trying to secure a spot, remember, just 4 slots left, right? If you're trying to secure a spot and you have issues on the site, just let me know so that I reach out and we're able to resolve that on the back end. Okay, just let me know in the chat. Busola, I do hope that you're able to book for that session so that we can have a discussion. So Gosi says, I want March 6th. So Gosi, when you're on the platform, you're going to see March 6th. Can you see my screen, Gosi? So you'd see March 6th. All right. So just ensure you're on March 6th and ensure that it's on card. Okay, and you're able to pick the 5 installments and click on pay now, Gosi. Okay, so that's how you get to pay for the 6th of March. I know that you said your card got declined, so I will be reaching out. I've gotten your details. I would do well to reach out so that we can have that resolved. Okay, so if there are any more questions, just leave them in the chat so that I take your questions. Okay, so please, what time are the live classes? So for you in Canada, you have 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you can learn in the mornings. But if you want to learn earlier than that, go see. You don't want to do 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Say that Saturday you have something you want to learn very early. You know, you're able to join the other class for people in Europe, UK, Africa. So you're able to join that class and you're still able to learn and then go about your day. That is if the 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time class doesn't work for you, go see. I hope I've been able to answer that. All right. So do we have any more questions? Go see, just let me know if you got my response. Okay. So if there are any more questions in the chat, If you have any more questions, pardon me. Yes, absolutely, Gosi. Just leave them in the chat. We've got 3 more minutes to take questions. So I will be reaching out to Tanzia, I will be reaching out to Gosi, and I will be reaching out to Taiwo as well. So if you have issues right now trying to secure a spot, remember, this is discounted. You don't want to pay more when you can pay less. If you have issues trying to secure a spot, please let me know in the chat. If you're not getting the one-time code, if you have issues with your card, please let me know in the chat so I reach out and we resolve the issues that you have. Okay, so I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. I'm just going to call our name. And, just let me know. If you don't have questions, just put a no, before we bring the session to a close. If there are no more questions, please leave a no. So admin, do you have a question? Busola, okay, no question. Chukunonso, Fumi, Kunle, Obeniwa, Regina. Okay, Regina is registered already. Any questions whatsoever, though? I can take all of your questions. We have 2 more minutes. So any questions? All right, thank you, Tanzir. Any more questions before we call it a day? It's been a fantastic time so far. I've enjoyed myself. All right, now remember the strategy that works. Learn. You want to learn in a structured environment, which is what Analytics gives to you. Positioning. You need a company to vouch for you. Reference letter. You need a company to say, oh, this person has done this thing before, right? You need mentorship, right? You need to be prepped for that interview. That is where we come in here at Analytics. You want to apply, you need somebody to teach you how to tailor your CV to suit that application. Okay, so since we don't have any more questions, we'll bring the session to a close. I do hope you've had a good time so far. If you've had a good time before we bring the session to a close, please leave a yes in the chat. Okay, if you've had a good time so far, please leave a yes in the chat, all right, before we bring the session to a close. Samsung, thank you. Kunle, big yes, absolutely. Regina, yes. Stephen, Shei, thank you so much. So we'll bring the session to a close. Thank you so much for joining in and staying with us. I hope you got value for your time. Thank you as well, Esther. I hope to see you all in class. And remember to take advantage of the discount. Cheers and bye for now. Thank you very much.